being caught up in Diddy's mess is wild, especially since no one had him on their radar in this saga. We've long suspected that multiple celebrities might go down with Diddy as the allegations pile up, but Chris Brown? That's a twist. To be fair, Chris has a troubling history, particularly with women. But no one expected his name to surface in connection with Diddy's alleged web of shady dealings. Now, the streets are buzzing with rumors linking Chris's infamous 2009 incident with Rihanna to Diddy, suggesting that Diddy may have played a part behind the scenes. So what's the connection? Some people are saying Diddy might have helped Chris cover up the situation or manage the backlash. Even more disturbingly, there are whispers that Diddy encouraged Rihanna to forgive Chris and that he may have pressured her into taking him back. If that wasn't wild enough, there are even rumors suggesting Diddy and Jay-Z tried to exploit Rihanna early in her career. It might sound far-fetched, but there are receipts worth considering. For instance, in 2009, when the music industry largely turned its back on Chris, Diddy stood firmly behind him. He not only supported Chris publicly, but also admitted on the Ellen DeGeneres show that he tried to get Rihanna and Chris to reconcile not long after the assault. Looking back, that level of involvement seems a lot more suspicious now. With more names being linked to Diddy, this story is only getting messier, and we might never know the full truth.
A talk going on with Chris Brown being at your place in Miami, and you arranging Chris and Rihanna getting back together. Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's jet skiing around in your, I don't understand, because, I mean, listen, I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love his music, he's a talented guy, but to hit a girl...
Yeah, because I know both of them, and it's my house, and I'm allowed to give my house to whoever I want to give my house to. That's number one. Number two is that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody. And so if a friend or friends ask me for a favor, then I'm gonna be there for a favor as long as I know that the energy of the favor is positive for two people to sit down and talk about a situation that they're in. I'm not gonna get involved in it. I'm not gonna pass judgment on it. If I could be there as a friend during hard times, then I'm gonna be there.
Diddy was in no position to judge Chris Brown because, behind the scenes, he was reportedly doing far worse. We're not even going to unpack the long, disturbing list of allegations against Diddy right now, because that's a whole mess of its own. But the fact remains, while Chris was getting dragged publicly for the assault on Rihanna, Diddy, allegedly knee-deep in his own dark dealings, was one of the few to stand behind him. In hindsight, it's raising a lot of eyebrows. As wild as it sounds, Rihanna wasn't the only woman Chris Brown mistreated. Multiple women have come forward over the years with their own disturbing stories. After his relationship with Rihanna ended, Chris began dating actress and model Karrueche Tran. Unfortunately, that relationship also ended in turmoil. By 2017, after they had broken up, Karrueche filed for a restraining order against Chris. In her court filings, she accused him of being violent and threatening during their time together. She claimed that Chris had punched her in the stomach and, in another incident, pushed her down the stairs. Karrueche said she didn't report the abuse when it happened because Chris was still on probation for the Rihanna case, and she feared it could land him in serious legal trouble. But the situation only worsened. Karrueche later revealed that Chris had allegedly threatened to kill her, telling her, "If I can't have you, no one can." That kind of possessiveness and danger is beyond toxic. Thankfully, she found the strength to walk away. But even after the breakup, Chris allegedly continued harassing her and even began going after her friends. That's when she ultimately filed for a permanent restraining order. After everything blew up in the media, Chris tried to clean up his image. He started keeping a lower profile, at least publicly, and mostly stayed out of serious legal trouble. But the damage was already done. A lot of people simply couldn't look past his track record. While he's still making music and has a fiercely loyal fan base, there's no denying that his career isn't where it could have been. With his talent, Chris could have been on the same level as Drake by now, but his history continues to haunt him. In 2019, things took another turn when Chris Brown was detained in Paris. A woman accused him of sexually assaulting her at a hotel. Chris and his team denied everything, claiming it was a setup and that he was being unfairly targeted. The case didn't go far, and Chris was eventually released, but it added yet another layer to his already controversial legacy. Then in 2021, his name popped up in the headlines again. This time, a woman alleged that Chris slapped her so hard during an altercation in the San Fernando Valley that her weave came off. Let that sink in, he allegedly hit her so hard it dislodged her hairpiece. According to reports, the woman wasn't seriously injured, and somehow Chris managed to avoid arrest yet again. But things got even more intense in 2022 when Chris was hit with another lawsuit, this one involving Diddy once again. A woman filed a $20 million lawsuit against Chris, claiming that he had sexually assaulted her in December 2020 aboard a yacht docked at Diddy's Miami Beach home. Once again, why is Diddy's name always tied to shady situations? It's like he's always in the background when something disturbing goes down. The woman, referred to as Jane Doe in court documents, is a singer, dancer, model, and choreographer. She claimed she was on FaceTime with a friend when Chris suddenly grabbed the phone and invited her to the yacht himself. When she arrived, everything seemed fine at first. Chris offered her a drink and they started chatting, nothing out of the ordinary. But according to her, things took a frightening turn. She says she started feeling strange, like she was drifting in and out of sleep, and began to suspect that her drink had been spiked. She claimed that while she was in this dazed state, Chris led her to a bedroom, closed the door, and despite her saying no, kissed her and allegedly sexually assaulted her. What made the situation even more disturbing was what happened the next day. Chris allegedly messaged her like nothing had happened and told her to take a Plan B pill, which she did. Jane Doe later filed the lawsuit citing emotional distress, among other claims. As for why she didn't go to the police right away, her legal team explained that coming forward isn't easy, especially when you're accusing a major celebrity. They also revealed that she was in medical school at the time and felt embarrassed and overwhelmed by what had happened. Chris denied all allegations. He took to Instagram stories to respond, posting a photo of himself surrounded by a pile of baseball caps, a reference to the slang cap, meaning lie.
This part, like, a lot of people don't know, Diddy turned me down. I was 12 years
watch
old.
this.
Like, man,
Let's
you
wait to see him.
Yeah.
You damn.
When NORE asked Chris Brown if he ever danced for Diddy, the whole exchange felt off. Like, why would a 12-year-old Chris need to be dancing at Diddy's house in the first place? That question alone raised a lot of red flags. Fans have since been speculating that the real reason Diddy didn't sign Chris had nothing to do with his talent and everything to do with something much more unsettling. Rumor has it that Diddy was more interested in trying to involve Chris in his infamous Puffy Flavor camp, but Chris wasn't having it. He saw the vibes and decided to steer clear. And let's be honest, Diddy passing on Chris definitely wasn't a talent issue. At the time, labels like Definite Jam and LA Reid were practically begging to sign him. Chris was just doing his homework and weighing his options. While we don't know exactly what went down between Chris and Diddy, it's clear they had some sort of relationship over the years. That could explain why Diddy later tried to pressure Rihanna to forgive Chris. This whole situation is wild. Drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out the next video.